Hi, my name is Karen Blake, and I'm an Indiana State University nursing student. And today I'm going to talk to you about a population at risk, and that is those with mental illness. The learning objectives for this presentation are: students will be able to define mental health. Students will be able to define mental illness. Students will be able to state why mental health is important for overall health. Students will be able to state how common mental illnesses are. Students will be able to state what causes mental illness. Students will be able to state the 5 signs of mental illness. Students will be able to identify risk factors for mental illness. Students will be able to state strategies to deal with stress, anxiety, and improve mental health. Students will be able to state some of the barriers to receiving appropriate mental health care. Please take a moment to take the pretest in the link below. Before we can discuss mental illness, we need to talk about mental health. What is mental health? It is comprised of our psychological, emotional, and social well-being. How we feel, how we act, how we react, and how we handle stress are all indicative of our mental health. The way that you think contributes to your mood, which contributes to your behaviors. Positive self-esteem, resilience in response to stressors, and knowing how to cope with difficulties all relates to good mental health. So now that we know what mental health is, we can talk about mental illness. Mental illness includes health conditions that are mental disorders, often causing feelings of extreme stress or being completely overwhelmed in school, work, family, and/or social settings. There are notable changes in feelings, thinking, moods, and behavior. Some facts about mental health are that it is not stagnant. It can be continuously molded and changed. You might feel great at points in your life, and then at other times you may be under a lot more stress, and that may cause you to struggle with your mental health. All of this is totally normal. Mental health is a process for everyone. We are all a work in progress. One of the most important things to keep in mind is that mental health affects your overall health. Sometimes it can feel like an endless cycle. You could be struggling with a mental illness such as anxiety or depression, and then this can cause you to feel physical pains as well. It can make you feel like you have no energy and no desire to do anything. This can lead to decreased productivity, which can set you behind further. Being behind can then make you more anxious, more stressed out, worried, and depressed. Then the cycle starts all over again. In addition, being diagnosed with a physical disease, such as cancer, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses, can also in turn cause depression. So, what causes mental illness? There are many factors involved with what can cause mental illness. Genetics, altered brain chemicals or hormones, life events, substance abuse, certain medications, abuse, and aging can all cause mental illness. Something important to keep in mind is that mental illness is actually very common. For many years, and still for some generations, mental illness has carried a stigma. The truth is that it is so common. Approximately 1 in 5 adults will experience some kind of mental illness. Approximately 1 in 24 has a serious mental illness, and approximately 1 in 12 has a substance disorder. The 5 signs of mental illness are excessive worry or anxiety, feelings of guilt, or even paranoia, sadness and/or irritability that does not go away, mood changes that are extreme, withdrawing from social activities, and changes in eating and/or sleeping that are extreme. Some risk factors for developing mental illnesses are traumatic experiences such as war, abuse, sexual assault, intense stress that can be psychological or physical, a difficult childhood, chronic medical illnesses or chronic pain, brain trauma, substance abuse, and family history of mental illness. The truth is, at some point in our lives, we are all going to have some issues with our mental health, so we should learn some coping strategies to deal with it. A great thing to do is have a hot cup of coffee or tea to jumpstart your day and put you in a good mood. You should make sure you're getting enough sleep, eating well, and staying hydrated. Try giving yourself a reward or planning for a trip. Looking forward to something helps to keep you motivated and can help with setting goals. Write down all of the things you're stressing out about in a journal right before you go to bed. There it is, it's all on paper, and now you can go to sleep. Write down the things you are grateful for, a few things every day. Go for a walk, a run, or a bike ride, something to clear your head and get some air. This can give you a new perspective on the situation and give you energy to tackle it. Sunshine is also fantastic for boosting moods. Make time to hang out with a friend who lifts you up and makes you laugh and feel good about yourself. Take a hot Epsom salt bath or get a massage to relieve tension. Come up with an act of random kindness that you can do for someone else, such as paying for someone's meal behind you in the drive-thru or volunteering at a shelter. Doing for others often makes you feel better about yourself. Create a bedtime routine that prepares you for the next day so that you aren't hurried and stressed in the morning and so that you get a good night's sleep. Create a morning routine that gives you some time to yourself and allows you to start the day out right, whether it's exercise, journaling, meditation, or reading. And finally, take a moment to give yourself some grace. You may be going through a difficult time right now, and that is okay. It's okay to cry for a few hours, take a day to be alone, not talk to anyone. Give yourself permission to not be productive for that short amount of time, and then pick yourself up and get the help that you need to get going again. As I have said, mental health affects us all. Mental health is personal. We all know someone, if not ourselves, who will be diagnosed with a mental health disorder. Spending on mental health treatment has gone up 52% since 2009. Therapy and counseling can often be too expensive for some, depending on insurance or lack of insurance. In 2008, the Mental Health Parity and Addiction Equity Act was enacted, which helped to improve access and coverage for those with mental illness/substance abuse. This prevents health insurances from making coverage for mental illness more restrictive than for physical illnesses. Still, only 56% of psychiatrists will accept commercial insurances due to the very low reimbursement. Less than half of those with mental illnesses will get proper treatment. Much less than that will get effective treatment, and the numbers are even more dismal for Black Americans. There have been many cases of people having a mental health crisis where law enforcement has intervened and caused tragic outcomes. There are many prisoners suffering from mental health disorders who are not getting the appropriate treatments within the prison system. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the need for mental health services has increased substantially. Please, let's take care of us. Learn the signs of mental illness. Know when to reach out when you or someone you know needs help. It is the responsibility of everyone. Untreated mental health disorders can lead to suicidal ideations, which can end up in suicide. Don't be afraid to speak up and say something. You just might save a life. Please see the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 800-273-8255.